I want to talk right now about a way to help the current situation that's going on in this country, having to do with politics, having to do with Trump getting into office. Do I like everything about Trump? No. Do I like everything about the Republican Party? No. They have a lot of faults. A lot of them are cowards. I'm convinced a lot of them are compromised. But that being said, if they don't get in, if Trump doesn't get in, this country is going to be in a real hairy spot, like a seriously jeopardized spot. So, before I even begin this, I'll say this though. What I'm going to talk about, in actuality, is secondary to this. And that is this. We as a nation have fallen farther and farther from God. And it's evident by how crazy and insane everything's becoming. I've come to find and notice that the farther that a society in general moves away from God, the crazier and more insane everything seems to get. You see it in this country. You see it in America right now in the 2020s. I believe personally, as a Christian, that if our country, the believers, would come correct and really humble themselves, really fall on their hands and knees before God and really beg his forgiveness and really come correct before him en masse, like with their hearts and souls, we could really make a huge impact that way. I'd argue like the biggest impact, okay? But in regards to what I was just talking about is this. If enough people from entertainment, politics, the media, either a combination of those three or like a mix of them or just one of them, were to come forth at the same time and publicly defect over to the right side of the political spectrum, you could create a massive change very quickly. Very fast. If they did it at the same time. I've talked about this before. It goes back to like the Me Too movement and the concept of that. So a quick recap of what that was for decades and decades, women were being assaulted by creeps in Hollywood. And they would come forth one at a time in most cases and try to speak up against this. And the powers that be would just shut them down and get them out of the way. They'd just make that problem just go away. But in 2017, when they came together as a group, as a unit, and they did this at the same time with multiple voices speaking up against this, they couldn't shut all those voices down. And it was like a tidal wave and it rolled over a whole bunch of these creeps. All right? Same thing would happen if enough people in the entertainment industry and or the media and or politics were to switch. Because I believe this in my heart, that there are more people than most people understand that are basically closeted Republicans who, if they were able to link up with a group of other closeted Republicans and come forward to announce that they're tired of this and this and this and this and this idiocy, if they were to come forward at the same time and announce that they're tired of XYZ nonsense policy of the left, they change the world. Just imagine if like 5, 6, 7 high profile, powerful, famous people from those positions were to publicly declare at the same time that they're done with the nonsense of the left and they're going to go back Trump. Better believe that would change things. It's ultimately up to God what ends up happening in November, but we got to do our part too. If enough people who are powerful and famous were to get together at the same time and do this, you can change the world. Whether that's going to happen remains to be seen. I've noticed it happening a little bit. I've noticed a little trickle effect here and there. Tulsi Gabbard, Robert Kennedy, and some others have done this. And even in that little trickle effect, it gives motivation to the others to go do it. But I'm telling you, if you could do this at the same time, a bunch of people, you'd have the left running scared, I believe. I'd recommend, though, if this ever happens, those people get together and go old school and have a conversation away from phones, away from devices, because the powers that be do not want such a thing to happen. And it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to preemptively like shut those people's social media down or what have you in order to stop that from happening. But this is a perfectly legal, legal, way to help to turn the tide. Because this country needs something to change. Like I said, I'm not 100% happy for sure with all the ways that Donald Trump is. I'm not. But I'm certainly not 100% happy with everybody surrounding him in this day and age. But I do believe if he doesn't get in, we got a real problem in this country, for sure. Like a massive, massive problem. So anyhow, with that being said, I hope everybody has a nice night. Till next time.